Hey folks, today I wanted to do a little get ready with me because I haven't done one in like over a month, and the last one that I did was like doing my makeup like my Sims. And today I just wanted to chat. I feel like it's been a while since we've had a chat. If you hear any keyboard smashing across the room, it's because I'm sharing the office currently with Josh and he is playing World of Warcraft.
Dragons!
Are you playing World of Warcraft?
Yes.
Okay. So if you hear any dragons or keyboard smashing, it's Josh right next to me. I mean, like across the room, but hi. It's been a minute. It's been a little bit, and I know I have not been like the most consistent with uploads, but I feel like that's been a very common thing amongst everybody in the YouTube community. So I feel like this isn't the first time you've heard this. I feel like there's been a handful of people that have been so consistent where I'm like, you're making everybody else look bad. Putting on some primer. I think I mentioned this maybe last month, but Ritual Defeat sent me this in PR before I closed my P.O. box. I closed it because A, I forgot, and B, I was mostly getting junk mail. And most of the mail I got was for the people who previously had the P.O. box, so I'm like, this is not worth it for me to have a P.O. box. So that's no longer there. If anybody was wondering why I took that out of my description box, mostly just because it wasn't really that useful for me. Thankfully, the brands that have sent me things before, I feel better about like just giving them my actual address because they're a business and they're gonna like, it wouldn't be any different from me like buying something and then them shipping it to me like to my house. That's a new thing. What else is new? I don't even know what else is new. I've just been kind of like, I don't know, playing a lot of The Sims, a lot of video games. Josh and I've been watching a lot of anime. We watched the newest episode of Chainsaw Man earlier, and let me tell you, that show takes turns that you do not expect. Holy moly. Also, this last week has been a little weird because we went to my mom and dad's house for Thanksgiving. So we were there from Wednesday to Friday, and then we had some power issues over the weekend. So that's always fun to deal with. One time when we had a power outage, we just like left and went to Josh's work and just like watched Netflix and YouTube because they still had power, but we didn't. But yeah, we've just been like in and out of the house in the last week, and I haven't been sleeping very well. That's another thing that I feel like has been a new development. I feel like I've been getting like insomnia. Is anybody else feeling more insomniac lately? Is that just me? Where you just like, it's like you need to sleep, but you don't want to sleep. It's like your body is telling you, you're tired, go to bed. But then your brain is like, no, but I want to watch another episode of this thing, or no, I want to play another game, or no, I want to do, like, I don't want to go to bed. It's been not great. It's been kind of a weird way that my brain has gotten distracted because it's like I'm not really making content that often, which I feel bad about, genuinely. And I'm going to try to do more this month, especially because it's like Vlogmas month, and, you know, usually it's A, a lot of fun content, B, really good for ad revenue, and C, I've done Vlogmas before, and I haven't really done it in a couple of years, but I want to post some more this month, and I feel bad about not posting as much, but I feel like a lot of people are just going through it. It's a thing. Like a lot of people on YouTube, a lot of people on social media, they're just kind of going through shit. It's weird. I don't know if it's just the platform, or if it's everyone, or if it's something in the water, or something in the like the moon. I don't know what it is. Is it the stars? What's making everybody just go through it right now? Holy shit. Mercury isn't in retrograde, right? I don't think so. Anyway, I have not been keeping up with a lot of makeup releases. Someone did tag me in something today, though. I think on Instagram? Was it on Instagram? No, it was on Twitter. Oh, NYX came out with a... I should wait and talk about this in an anti-haul, but like, I guess NYX came out with an Avatar 2 palette that's like really boring. I have no desire to see that movie. None whatsoever. We've just been watching a lot of other content. Like... It was actually really funny. When we went home for Thanksgiving, my mom, they got a new TV. My parents got a new TV, and we were needing to log into their accounts and log into our accounts to like play Christmas movies and play TV shows. And when I was like, yeah, we dropped Hulu because we weren't really watching it anymore. We dropped Disney Plus because we weren't really watching it anymore. And then we dropped, what else did we drop? Funimation we dropped. So we dropped a lot of streaming services. And I was like, pretty much the only ones we use are Netflix, Crunchyroll. And my mom kind of looked at us. I was like, oh yeah, it's what she's like, oh yes, you like the animation now. That's how my mother referred to anime. And I laughed so hard. Wasn't that funny? Mm-hmm. Wasn't that funny when mom called anime animation? Okay, you can go back to your game.
I have headphones on, so I can't.
I know. That's okay. You don't need to hear. That was the only thing that I wanted your input on. Cause
I didn't know if you wanted me to participate.
You can if you want, sometimes. I think people like it when you're in videos. I'm just looking for my eyebrow gel, as one does. I always am looking for this. Like, I feel like that's the slowest thing for me to get when I'm doing my makeup. But, yeah, my mom... She's like, oh yeah, you like that animation now? And I was like, Mom, it's called anime. She's like, it's animation. I was like, that's technically, Mother, you are correct. But also, no. My mom is so funny. And we watched some like cheesy ass rom-coms that were on, one was on Netflix and then one was on Amazon Prime because they have it. But oh my God, I forgot how, like, the thing is with rom-coms now, they're almost like so painful to watch sometimes because they rely so much on like this secondhand cringe embarrassment thing, especially ones where it's having to do with families and it's just so awkward. Like, it's so awkward sometimes to watch these where I'm like, oh, I have to look away. Like, I'm feeling too much cringe on behalf of another person. Does anybody else get that way? Like, I used to enjoy these rom-coms more, like these kind of ones that were a little bit jokier, a little bit more uncomfortable to watch in a way that like the people in the movie were like put in uncomfortable situations or like hilarious mishaps that like turned into awkward moments. I don't like those that much anymore. I really don't. And I don't know if it's the fact that I'm like older and I can relate to it more. I don't know. Or like I can just like feel the pain and I'm like, maybe it's because like I'm the same age as most of the people who are in these movies or older. So like when I was younger, I was like, I don't know any of this life experience. I've never been a bridesmaid 27 times, like I couldn't relate to it. So I couldn't feel the same kind of like physical pain. But yeah, we watched a couple of those and I was like, we're done with these, Mom. It's okay. It's fine. The only one that I actually kind of want to watch is the new one with Lindsay Lohan and Trouty Mouth from Glee. Trouty Mouth being Cord Overstreet. Santana called him Trouty Mouth in Glee. It's one of the only things I remember about that show, besides the other thing that when Quinn Fabray got into a car accident and was in a wheelchair temporarily because of her injuries, sang a song with her disabled classmate who was always in a wheelchair, and they sang, "I'm Still Standing." And I swear to God, every time I think about that, it makes me want to cry with laughter. I told my mom, and I was like, Mom, do you remember how unhinged Glee was? And she was like, you guys liked that show. And I was like, I don't know why I did, but we did. I don't know why I liked that show. Looking back on it now, I'm like, what the fuck? That was everything I didn't like. I don't know how I enjoy it. Maybe it was just, again, since I was younger and, it was funny and silly and it's what everybody was talking about on Tumblr that week. I don't know. But now as an adult, I'm like, oh my God, I cannot handle the theater kid energy. I cannot handle Mr. Schuster. I cannot handle any of it. Oh my God. Like, I feel like the only thing that I would find remotely funny now, even then, I feel like Sue Sylvester was just a bully, and I would like, I don't know. Glee is such a weird thing to me because how it even flew in the time that it was released. Like, why was that? I don't know. Usually my parents and my sister will make me watch like several episodes of Saturday Night Live when I'm at home. And I was like, I don't want to watch any of it this season because it's all terrible. Maybe not all terrible. I haven't watched enough to really get a full understanding. I saw that they had Drunk Uncle come back for a bit on Weekend Update. And I was like, okay, that's kind of fun. I appreciate Drunk Uncle. It's a little bit too real now because Drunk Uncle like was president up until a few years ago. So it's not quite as funny post Drunk Uncle being the president of the United States. It was still funny. But yeah, ever since SNL made that fucking Try Guys sketch, I was like, I have no desire to watch it right now. None whatsoever. Like, no, I'm done. I'm done with SNL for now. The writing's been bad for seasons. Don't like it. Josh and I had to explain to my mom the whole Try Guys thing because she doesn't pay attention to the internet and she didn't know the whole context, which is the kind of audience that they were catering to because they were like, what is this? Try Guys? Food babies? What? So we explained the entire situation to her and she was like, oh, she obviously came from a different time, and the idea of workplace relationships wasn't nearly as big of a thing back in like the 70s and the 80s when she was first working. So we had to explain that to my mom, which is again funny because my mom does not pay attention to the internet. The only thing she pays attention to on the internet sometimes is Facebook, which always makes me chuckle because she'll call me sometimes and she's like, oh, did you see that thing? I was like, no, Mom, I didn't. I didn't see it on Facebook. I did not. Do you see that thing I posted? No, I didn't. No, I did not. For what it's worth, my parents are very liberal, so I don't have to deal with like conservative parents. It's just my mom is like a silly boomer, but like a silly boomer that understands things and is generally on the right side of things. Because of my sister and I, that we have been constantly explaining things to them over the years and very vocal about stuff. And we also live in Washington State, so that also helps. They're around more like-minded people, at least on the western side of Washington. It is interesting looking at, this is the most stream of consciousness. This is the closest thing to an overcaffeinated I've probably had in years. Because I'm not overcaffeinated, but I did just have like a bite of an edible a little bit ago. So like, I don't know. Is it kicking in? Who fucking knows?
What was I saying?
I'm going back to western versus eastern Washington. If you look at a map of how the voting went at the beginning of November in Washington State, it is very interesting because if you look at just like the square miles of like what counties are red versus what counties are blue, red counties far outweigh in terms of space, but many of those counties are filled with farmland and mountains that don't have a lot of people living in them in relation to people on the west side. So it's definitely interesting to see how votes went. I got my ballot in and like I got it in, but it wasn't as quickly as I would have liked, but I got it in. It was counted, felt good about it. And then I stopped getting text messages from Tiffany Smiley, the woman running for senator. I hate her. Did you guys get a bunch of fucking annoying ass text messages from people running for stuff where you live? My God. Hers was like the first text message I got too, and I was like, ma'am, you are an anti-choice, Second Amendment touting military wife who is basically Mitch McConnell's mouthpiece. You are barking up the wrong tree. I don't think I responded to the text, but I was just annoyed. I was like, why are you texting me? I was like, there's plenty of other people who are better uses of your time than me. No, I laughed at a certain point. I was like, wow, what a waste of time. What a waste of time. I can definitely see people having a problem with people being in power for like decades and decades and decades. Like there is inherently an issue with that. But like Patty's been working the whole time and like has been doing a good job for the most part. And this person, this lady that came in, had no experience in anything. She was a nurse. And she took care of her disabled veteran husband, which is a great thing. A great thing. Like, she should have just stuck and worked with veterans. Like, that would have been a really cool thing for her to do. But no, she wanted to run for senator. It's like, no, why? Go away. Like, I think it might have been the morning of the election or right before. She posted some tweet, and if I can find it, I'll put it up on the screen. She posted something. It was like a sign that someone had put up in Seattle. I still don't fully believe that this wasn't a planted sign, but it was just like, Seattle loves Tiffany Smiley or some shit like that. And she responded back on Twitter being like, oh my God, I love Seattle, or like Western Washington. And I just responded with like,
well, we don't like you.
When her name was trending on Twitter around that, Josh's buddy looked at Twitter, looked on the trending topics, and one of my tweets was underneath it, and I just thought that was very funny. That, like, the only time I ever get any sort of, like, hit in the algorithm on Twitter, which lately I don't even know if I want to be in the algorithm on Twitter. Fuck. The only time I ever do is when I'm angry about something. never anything that's like announcing a cool thing or like, oh my God, look at this amazing art. I don't know. Like, it's always, I'm pissed about stuff. I'm ranting about a YouTuber or about a celebrity or something or about YouTube in general. Like, just ranting. It's the only time my tweets ever make any sort of dent in the algorithm, and it just makes me chuckle. It makes me laugh because I have been generally kind of disconnected from social media. I watch a lot of YouTube videos, I will say. Most of the content I do consume on a daily basis is YouTube content, whether that's like ASMR content, commentary content. Lately, I've really been liking Jarvis's second channel videos. Chad, really like Chad stuff. Casey Alonso, Gabby Bell, really liking Gabby's stuff. Been liking these newcomers coming up in the commentary game. I like them. I really like Chad, and like her editing is so funny. I'm a big fan of her content. And then all the camp counselor, all the folks from the Camp Counselors podcast, Kenny JD, Mr. Gigi, and Amanda the Jedi, really like their stuff as well. Scott Kramer, oh my God, I love Scott Kramer's videos. I love his videos so much. They're so underrated. Oh my God. They're so funny too. Like, he just picks the most interesting topics, and like, I don't know, it's like they're interesting topics, but they're also things that a lot of people can find familiarity with. And that's one thing I really like about his videos, is that like, he's a commentary guy. He's a commentary dude, but he doesn't pick the same kind of things that a lot of the other commentary guys pick. Like, yeah, he's going to rank all of the toilet papers. Just do like a tier list of the quality of toilet paper, or like how many, the best toilet paper, the best and worst toilet paper. And I know Josh is going to say something, because when I went to the store months after watching that video, I stupidly bought the worst toilet paper in the grocery store. The Scott brand toilet paper.
How could you?
I'm sorry. Okay. Anyway, but I love Scott's videos. But I'm watching a lot of YouTube. Oh my God. Jarvis posted a new video on his Gold channel yesterday. Jarvis Johnson Gold. His second channel, that's what he calls it. It's a reference to Austin Powers, if you remember it, if you're old enough to remember it. There was this thing, I'm very out of the loop, TikTok drama in general. I don't know what the fuck is happening half the time. I will see videos that I laugh at. I will see videos that, oh my God, that's so cool. Or I will see compilations of TikToks that give me context of things. I have no idea what's happening on that app most of the time. But I saw Jarvis's video about this dude, about this guy, just this guy who like was making a face in videos. His name's Kevin. Fucking guy named Kevin. He got banned from TikTok after this, by the way, which I thought was very funny. This whole story is wild to me too, because I was like, who is this, and why are people losing their minds over him? Dude, just this guy started posting these videos where he like is like starting off lip syncing all awkwardly, like, oh my God, I'm such like a quirky guy, like, wow, look at how quirky and awkward I am, and then immediately goes into this like smoldering eye look and like looking you up and down and stuff, and it's just so awkward to watch. But like a bunch of people on TikTok started saying that like, this man has mastered the female gaze, and I was like, I don't think that's what that word means. The last time I checked, the female gaze is a reference in like film and art criticism, like media criticism, where you can point out the difference between the male gaze, where if there's something on frame, where if a woman on screen is framed in a way that is sexualizing her or putting her in a position to be like, oogle that, right? Versus something that is more straightforward, that doesn't have that male gaze kind of aura. Like, I'll put pictures kind of next to each other that kind of show the difference. And the female gaze is something that is supposed to kind of put everybody's autonomy on the same level, takes the camera away from this place that sexualizes the woman on camera, or even like puts men in this position of like this like super hyper masculine powerful thing in a movie or in a TV show or in a piece of art. It's a difference in perspective. And I didn't realize that this was a thing that people were talking about online, where like they were kind of refocusing that concept in like film tropes, which I can see where that comes from. Like there was an example that I saw where somebody was talking about The Holiday, how Jack Black is a good example of the female gaze. And I was like, I see where you're going with this, because him as a character is somebody that isn't the like traditional hyper masculine chiseled jaw, like super, like he's not the Jude Law of the movie, but he's still somebody that's very charming, that you're supposed to like and that you do like. And I can see that being like a valid point of like the female gaze thing, where it's like it's taking a character that maybe wouldn't necessarily have that same sort of allure if it was from the male gaze. Like if it was a film that was totally focused in a different way, Jack Black would be like the bumbling dorky guy, and like he wouldn't be Kate Winslet's love interest, you know? So I can understand where that comes from, but it was just the fact that people were talking about this one dude. Let me finish my eye first. Like people were talking about a literal gaze, like just a look that he had. I'm like, that's not... How do you perfect the female gaze by just doing bedroom eyes while lip syncing? It was so weird. Talking about this man like he cracked a code or something. Like he's just a dude with Sanpaku eyes who looks not conventionally attractive. Like, it's just odd thing to witness from kind of an outside perspective of somebody who really doesn't partake in like TikTok as a community. And then I guess it was found out that there was like a bunch of old stuff from his other content that was like very violently misogynist and sexist and like creepy. And I'm like, oh, well, that's not surprising. I don't know what it is about sitting in front of my computer that puts me at this like ease that's different from sitting upstairs in my beauty room. I don't know, but I'm gonna film here more often. Might have made that wing a little big. Yeah, I was not surprised that it turned out that he had a creepy, sexist, misogynist past, because personally, as somebody who's been on YouTube for a very, very long time, in my experience, almost every time a kind of quirky, not conventionally attractive, kind of nerdy dude who maybe didn't get like a ton of attention when he was younger immediately gets like a massive amounts of attention from women on the internet. It never goes well. It never does. If you remember, if you know, you know, because there was that period of time when like every British white dude on YouTube was found out to be a fucking weirdo. Any of my old school YouTubers remember that shit? I can never forget it. I started doing this like different technique with my mascara. I used to do it way more often, where I would like get it way down at the roots and then like curl up, but I stopped doing that. But I also have quite long lashes naturally, so like I know that's a flex, I'm sorry, but I just have long lashes. Okay, God, sorry. I'm using literally just two colors on my eyes, by the way. I'm using the Ugly shade from the Ugly palette from Likely Makeup. All over my eye, this like kind of baby poop green, which is one of my favorite green shades, not gonna lie, one of my favorite shades. I feel like it looks good with literally everything. Anybody who says that it's ugly, what is wrong with you? I thought it was funny though that she made an entire palette just like based around this technically being like the ugliest color, and she's like, no. Jordy was like, just you wait, I'm gonna make a palette that's beautiful, that uses the ugliest color. And she did. I'm almost done with my makeup, so let me talk about the song of the day. Today's song of the day is Crumbs from Rebecca Black. God, I swear I will never find a better lipstick formula than the matte lip crayons from By Beauty. I said what I said. It's my favorite lipstick formula. It's so comfortable. It lasts forever. It looks good on the lips. Smells good. Doesn't irritate my lips. Best lipstick formula I've ever tried. Absolutely. Let me put my glasses back on so I can see. That's a fun look. So sparkly on my cheeks. Oh God, that highlight. Oh my God, I forgot how bright that fucking highlight is. Holy shit. This is the palette I used, by the way. It's so pretty. I love it. But Rebecca Black, Crumbs is your song of the day, and she came out with this a few weeks ago, I think. The music video is fire. I love it. But I'm so excited to see what Rebecca's gonna do, because I feel like the music she's been coming out with the last few years has been like so cool and like pop superstar level. I'm like, girly, you're gonna be making waves. I'm excited for you. Like, I have been rooting for Rebecca for such a long time because I was on YouTube when Friday went viral. I was old at that point, and This is back when I was like friends with a lot more YouTube people on like Facebook and stuff. And I commented on the thread and she replied back being like, oh, hi, Abby, I love your videos. And I was like, what? And then like she started posting stuff on Twitter about like We Are Scientists is the best band, like name a better one. And I was like, wait, you like We Are Scientists? What? And then we bonded over We Are Scientists. And I was like, you're cool, Rebecca. I am a fan of you as a person and as a musician, and I think she's doing really cool things, and I'm excited to see when she goes on tour here, because I know she toured in 2019 and I missed it and I was kind of sad. Yeah, I'm just excited for her because the new songs are really, really cool. And like they're different and like pop, it's just, they're fun. I think it'll be really fun to see her play live. So yeah, Crumbs from Rebecca Black is your song of the day. I've been playing a lot of The Sims, so please, if you ever want to watch me just lose my mind about random things in The Sims, come follow me on Twitch. It's fun. We have a good time. We have a chill time. Most of the time I'm playing The Sims. Sometimes we put on makeup and do other things and talk about stuff. Sometimes maybe we'll play other games. I rarely play other games. Most of the games I play is just The Sims. This is the finished look. Like I said, it's very basic. And then I have a green highlight on the inner corner. I have Fenty Water Brat on my cheekbones. And then I have Leche from By Beauty on my lips. So this is the look. Very simple. I've been wearing makeup a lot lately. The only time I really do wear makeup lately is like when I went home for Thanksgiving, and then also for videos and streaming. It's pretty much the only time I put on makeup anymore, but sometimes you just don't want to put it on. And most of the time that's me. If you want to follow me on any of my other social media, my Instagram and my Twitter are both Abers07. And then my Twitch and my TikTok are Abers without the 07. I might start up my Tumblr again if Twitter does jump ship. And that maybe I'll make a new one or change the URL. I feel like I should probably make a new one because the last time I did anything on Tumblr was in like 2018. And like the last thing I actually did anything on Tumblr was like 2016. And I don't even remember the kind of nonsense and oversharing I was posting there. I should probably just go private that account and delete it. I don't know. That was a long time ago. Does anybody still use Tumblr? Do you still use Tumblr? I don't know. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good weekend, and I will see you all in my next video.